Hey, everybody. Happy Friday. It is Trending Topics Friday. Listen, I can't believe it's Friday already, but I'm happy. Now, I'm ready to have a really amazing weekend. And for us here in Jersey, they said it's going to be a nice weekend. They said we're going to have good weather. So I'm looking forward to it, right? And listen, guys, unfortunately over here, the last couple days, I got to see if I can, perhaps in the future take it off, but we have to hit subscriber mode only. I hate to have to do that, but the people in the streets, they wilding out, they acting a little crazy. So until they calm down, we will be putting on subscriber mode only. All that means is you gotta already be a subscriber if you're gonna comment in the chat. You'll be able to watch from the bushes if you're not a subscriber, but only the subscribers will be able to chat in the comments because the people in the streets have been acting a little crazy. And you know how we get down over here. All of us over here already know the rules. We catch the train, we don't catch feelings, okay? So if you're gonna hop on the diva train, the Great Tribe train, you're gonna have to be prepared to catch the train and don't catch feelings, okay? Who not a sub? Listen, as long as you're a subscriber, you can comment. You can comment. I had to put, subscriber mode only. Okay, because the people acting a little different in these streets. Diva, you're a woman after my own heart with those silver hoop earrings. Come on, I love silver. Silver is my color, okay? And every now and then you'll catch me with some gold. I don't be putting on my bracelets when I'm on live because all you hear when I hit my hand down, you hear the clink clink. But I love the silver. I love silver, okay? All right. Okay. So listen, guys, we got a nice show for Trending Topics. And listen, y'all can't be holding me up tonight. Y'all be holding me in overtime. The train has to pull into the last stop on time, okay? So I really cut it down. We got 3 topics, and I hope these 3 topics don't take us into overtime, all right? I cut back because we never get to the end of the show because we just get so passionate and so crazy. But y'all know, listen, I promise y'all these stories come to me. I don't be seeking them out. The stories come to me. We got an airplane situation. Okay, and every week we do Trending Topics, some situation happens on the airplane. I don't know what's going on in the air, but something's going on. Oh, Paula, you said my skin glowing. All right now, okay, I got a little glow on the skin. Okay, thank you for that. All right now, come on now. Okay, so we got a little airplane situation, and then I don't know if y'all saw this, the beatdown at Applebees. The cops beat the man down. They beat down the wrong man. And the real people was up in the bathroom hiding. And now the man they beat down, he's getting charged. This is a mess. Okay. Then we got these out of control teens. Out of control teens. I don't know what's going on with the teenagers these days, but apparently adult was with them with this situation we're going to talk about with the out of control teen. But I tell you what, when I was growing up, my mother would be like, I wish you would be out in them streets embarrassing me. Okay, homie, my mom did not play that. Homie, don't play that. Okay, well, I forgot what that show, In Living Color. Remember they used to say, homie, don't play that? Homie didn't play that. My mother didn't play that. She was like, don't be in them streets embarrassing me or you'll never go outside again. And what happened to the days where these kids respect their parents? I tell you what, let me tell you what they say about parenting. They said if a child don't respect their parent, then they're probably not going to respect not an adult in them streets. If your child don't even have no respect for you, when they get up out in those streets, they're probably not going to have no respect for anybody that's in authority figure, okay? Well, listen, guys, I'm about to board this train, and y'all know what I need in that chat when I'm about to board the train. I need a what? I need a choo-choo. All aboard, everybody. About to board this train for Trending Topics Friday night. And we hope that these stories we got tonight is going to kick off your Friday. So I'm about to board this platform, and I believe, people, the platform is jam-packed. We got our peeps. They got their ticket. So I'm going to bring the people in the building. Okay, hold on to your seats, guys. Hold on to your seats, okay? All right now, Sebastian's in the building. Hey, Sebastian.
Oh my God, I'm finally next to Diva.
Hey, E.
Hey, I'm representing for Royer. He's at the Beyonce concert, y'all. Let's say our prayers that he has a safe return.
that part right there. And this is his second time seeing Beyonce this week. He went Wednesday night and he's there again tonight. Okay, probably
Lord.
in probably about 2.2 seconds, he about to jam to the Beyonce song. And no, he did the darn thing. Okay, Wednesday night, he showed up and showed out at that concert. You better ask somebody. He was dressed to the nines, okay? He wasn't playing. In my opinion, Leo, Robin, Felicia, Adele.
Number one diva, choo choo.
Hello?
On now, Dustin and Denzel.
Hey.
I love everybody. Y'all in the building. How y'all doing tonight?
Good, you?
All is well. It's Friday. Just
I know that's right.
Friday night. Y'all probably don't know that song. Okay. And I can't say, but hey, all right. So we're going to go ahead and get started with trending topics. You know what, guys? I am trying to get, I don't know, this story is really, it's breaking my heart, and I'm very intrigued about, more information about this story. I've been trying to tap into, my friends that I work with in the hospital to kind of get more details, just generic details about the story. Because, of course, they wasn't there. They don't know exactly what happened. Neither do I. And I'm talking about the story we talked about last night with this doctor that, unalived the baby. I was just trying to get some general protocol in the situation because I just can't even in my mind imagine that this many people will be willing to cover something like that up. That is just, I just can't wrap my mind around it. You can't get me to cover up nothing. I'm a scaredy cat. And let me tell you something right now. I'm going to jail for no one. No. I'm going to jail for no one. I'm not fudging numbers or no documents at a job to make something look like it's not. I'm definitely not in no hospital going to cover up something that gross text. I'm not doing it. So that's why I'm just like, I just can't imagine that the amount of people it took to cover up that crime, that they was willing to do it. I can't wrap my mind around it, but we will stay close to this story and see how it turns out. Okay. And that's a story from Trending Topics last night. You're not going to jail for no one. Oh, no, I'm not. It's not going to happen. Hey, Robin. All right. So, okay, wait, hold on. Let me mute Robin there. Okay. If you could just mute Robin, because I think, I can't mute your mic for some reason. I'm hearing a lot of background noise. Robin, if you don't mind muting, there we go. All right. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and get into story number one. So story number one, I promise y'all, I don't be looking for these airplane things, okay? They come to me. They just come. I click on stuff, and here go another story about some airplane situation. And I'm going to need the airlines to get it together. Now, let me share my screen, because this is disgusting. And this was a doctor. So you know what? On that note, what is going on with these doctors? Okay, do they need therapy? Do they need mental health? So a doctor is charged with, I think I can say this word on YouTube, but we're going to find out, masturbating in front of a 14-year-old girl on a flight while others slept. It's insane. A Massachusetts doctor has been arrested for allegedly exposing himself and masturbating next to a 14-year-old girl on a flight from Hawaii while other passengers slept. Now, in my mind, I'm just like, who can be this horny? Are you kidding me right now? And why didn't you go in the bathroom? This is sick, okay? So I ain't even going to butcher his name, but he's a doctor, 33, of Cambridge, and was arrested Thursday and accused of performing the lewd act on Hawaiian Airlines Flight 90 from Honolulu to Boston in May last year, the U.S. Attorney's Office in Massachusetts said. Okay, so the doctor, a primary care physician at Beth Israel Deaconess Medical Center in Boston, was flying with a female companion and seated next to a girl who was traveling with her grandparents, according to charging documents. So here's the other thing, and I guess I'm going to give the grandparents a slight pass. Even my kid, and when we went on vacation this year, now he was 17, he just turned 18 last month. Homie, don't play that. I'm sitting next to my kid on the plane, okay? Because, and that's why you got to go set those tickets ahead of time. And if you don't know how to do it, you call into the airline to make sure all is well. But this kid was with her grandparents and wasn't sitting next to her. One of the grandparents, grandma or grandpa, should have been sitting next to the girl, and one of them should have been sitting next to this man. They should have never let their grandchild sit next to a perfect stranger. But I digress, and I'm not judging them, but I am saying, so everybody out there, when you are traveling with others, okay, so on the plane there are 3 seats. There's only 3, so only 3 of you could be together. But you're traveling with some underage children, you make sure that you are in the row with them and you are next to them, okay? But we'll continue. About halfway through the flight, the girl noticed that the doctor had covered himself with a blanket up to his neck and that his leg was bouncing up and down, the affidavit states. He's disgusting. He's a joke, okay? She didn't observe that the blanket was no longer covering him, and his pants was unzipped as he masturbated until he ejaculated, according to the filing. He's disgusting. On the plane, on the flight. When the doctor went to the plane's restroom, the girl moved to an empty seat in another row for the rest of the flight because she felt disgusted and very uncomfortable, the filing said. The accused perv and his companion had later been holding hands, had earlier been holding hands and cuddling with each other. They were asking each other basic level questions such as, what is your favorite color? Which the girl found strange, the affidavit says. After landing in Boston, the girl informed her family about the sickening incident and authorities were notified. This poor little girl, but see, I would have shut it down on that plane if I was her, but she's young, so I'm not judging her. I'm just saying, I wish she would have went and told her family as soon as it happened, or told the flight attendant with his disgusting behind, okay? When questioned by 2 FBI agents at his home, the doctor appeared visibly nervous and that his hands and voice trembled, official says. He denied the allegation, saying, I have no recollection of that. Not that he didn't do it. He has no recollection. He can't remember what happened on the plane. You're lying. Okay. The doctor appeared in federal court in Boston on Thursday after being charged with 1 count of lewd, indecent, and obscene acts while in the special aircraft jurisdiction of the United States. The charge carries up to a sentence of 90 days in prison, up to 1 year of supervised release, and a fine up to $5,000. He was released on his personal recognizance with conditions that include staying away from people under 18 and any places where they might gather, okay? A spokesperson for the hospital said that they're aware of the allegations and pretty much, he's on leave and currently not practicing at the hospital, and they're unable to say any further comments because, it's an investigation. Acting U.S. Attorney Joshua said in a statement, everyone, especially children, has the absolute right to not be exposed to lewd conduct while they are traveling. If you engage in this type of illicit behavior alleged here, you will be caught and held accountable wherever it happens, he added. The Post has reached to Hawaiian Airlines for a comment. Of course, there's nothing, right? He's disgusting. This doctor. How just disgusting. To Sebastian first. Sebastian, what are your thoughts?
This is very disgusting. This reminds me of the last situation, but it wasn't a child. Remember Marshmallow? I think that was the rapper's name or something like that.
Designer,
not Marshmallow.
Actually, I was going to bring him up because can I tell you, this dummy, he violated his probation while he's out waiting. He violated it, and they about to send his behind back to jail.
Oh, well, that's what happens. This doctor's very gross. You don't do stuff like this. You don't. I believe this doctor needs to be put on the S offender list within the state of Massachusetts. This child is going to need therapy.
Yes.
Intense therapy. Witnessing something nasty like that is just gross. I see where you're coming from, Diva, about if you were the girl, you probably would be screaming on that plane immediately. But I don't think she noticed till the blanket was removed.
She didn't. I'm talking about, I'm surprised, she just moved her seat and they allowed her to just move her seat without asking her, well, why do you want to move your seat? and what's
Yeah,
going
they
on.
should
And
have.
I
And
would
where
want
were the flight
my family
attendants? Where were
right.
the flight attendants? You that means this guy was doing this off and y'all were not walking up these aisles making sure stuff was good? Oh no. This
Mm-hmm.
and another thing, if this was my child, I'm sorry. The grandparents are too nice. I would have reported to the authorities. I would have been cussing the hell out once my child moved seats, and I would have asked them, "Why did you move?" And then
Right.
when they told me, that plane would have been World War III up in the
What?
air.
What?
It would have been World War III up in
Mm-hmm.
that air
Mm-hmm.
because there's no way in hell I would make sure that man is arrested as soon as that plane lands
Mm-hmm.
immediately. This is horrible. This is disgusting. And as I said, he needs to go on that list. And I don't think he needs to lose his job too. Beth Israel, you need to fire him. You are one of the biggest hospitals in this country. Fire him ASAP.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
That's
Mm-hmm.
it.
Thank you. Everybody hit that like button. Y'all hop in the train. Y'all hop in the train. It's only 61 likes and 192 people in the building. Please hit the like button. E, what are your thoughts?
Bet y'all thought I wasn't here today. Gotcha. So, hey, Diva. Men like this who cannot wait to relieve themselves, I always consider to be likely to force women into acts. If you know what I mean.
Mhm.
Um, we need to stop suggesting these predators go into the restroom to squeeze the oil out of the wrench. No, don't do that in a public restroom. You don't know what child may have to go in after him and
Yeah.
touch the door handle or the tissue holder. No, you're going to give somebody an infection. I thought we wanted to protect the kids. And so,
Amen.
listen, you're you're talking about 90 days in jail. That's it. And he's a doctor? Oh,
Yeah.
no, no, no. He needs to lose his license to practice. I don't even want him down to the call center to answer the phones for the doctor's office. Send him to SeaWorld and let him feed the fishes. I cannot accept this. Keep your bacteria to yourself
Yeah.
until the plane lands. And if you can't wait, do that in the budget car rental for all I care. But don't you dare do that in a public restroom. This should be a felony. I just don't think a misdemeanor is enough. And I say 10 years at a minimum. Put his ass in prison with R. Kelly and Tory Lanez. I ain't got time for this. Lock him up.
Lock them up. You know what? I was laughing at the fact that they said Beyonce carries toilets with her on her tour. She carries her toilets with her, and every now and then she has them switch them out or whatever the case may be. But you know what? I'm not mad at her now because you're right, E. Disgusting stuff like this. You going in the bathroom, you doing all kind of stuff, and it depends for me how long the flight is. I'm careful what I drink on a flight because I do not want to squeeze in that little tiny bathroom and ever have to use it. So I'm very mindful. Who is that? Okay. I'm very mindful of what I'm drinking and what I'm doing for the simple fact that I really don't want to have to end up using that bathroom. I always carry a big bag on the carry-on with me. And I have my wipes in there. I have hand sanitizer in there because, like you said, people are disgusting. You really needed to sit there and do that? Like, that's disgusting. And then in front of a little girl, then on purpose you moved that blanket because you wanted that little girl to see.
Oh, please. Yeah, that was all a part of the excitement. Okay, he wasn't going to leave without letting
I'm
her
so,
know. But it's
thank
not
God he didn't
even
ask the girl to touch it. Thank God he
but
did not ask the girl to touch it, but he probably would have.
But it's not only that, Diva. We have to not only carry that. I remember someone on the panel came up and said they carry temporary sheets or temporary beddings for the hotel once. But it's not only on the planes. I remember, ladies, we never know when we may get a UTI. And I remember I was coming from a restaurant in Atlanta. It's so big, and it took me an hour to get home. I had to stop at Walmart. I just felt like I had to go. Horrible experience. I don't do public restrooms, and it's even though it's the ladies' room, it's filthy in there, and you
Ooh,
don't want to touch anything. You don't want to take you don't want to take anything off, and you don't want anything touching the floor, touching the sides. It's just a horrible, horrible experience.
It's horrible. And so there's two malls. I'm in between two malls that I frequent in my area. One of them, they have a Nordstrom's, and I will say their bathroom is spotless. Okay. I'm still very careful in it, but at least their bathroom is spotless. And then the other mall is ironic, but their mall bathroom is one of the cleanest, like in that particular mall. So every mall I go to, I do know which one has the better bathrooms in case I do have to go. But like you said, I really can't stand using a public bathroom, and I got a whole routine. The other thing I could say about one of the malls, it's called Woodbridge Center Mall. With their public bathroom, there is no door to go into the bathroom. And I actually love that design, right? Because it's a curve around, so you can't just pass by it and see straight in the bathroom. They got this nice design where it's curved around before you get inside, like the women's stalls or wherever the case may be. But you do not have to touch a door going in. You don't have to touch a door going out. Like, I mean, of course you have to touch the door to the bathroom store, but you don't have to open the bathroom door to get in. I can't stand public bathrooms. I do it when I have to. And like I said, I always have some wipes or something in my bag. I always carry, I carry this. I carry baby wipes. I can't stand it. It's disgusting. And these people are nasty, but he needs to go down. He needs to go down. Yeah, the bathrooms there. Nordstorms usually keep their bathrooms really good. Yeah. Bloomingdale's, I don't go in there that much because the mall by me that has Bloomingdale's, well, actually there's two, but it's a little further away from me. In my opinion, what are your thoughts?
In the words of the late great Bernie Mac, this is a sick son of a mum.
Yep.
Let me tell you something. First of all, you have to be really low budget, low barrel, everything to do this. Like, I think these people need to be put on their own little island so they can do each other and
Yep.
not the innocent public. Like, nobody should have to endure this. And I feel like if you got to do this, then stay at home and do it. And if you can't hold yourself until you get home, then you should not be on public airplanes, buses, none of that stuff.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And he probably has something where he is some type of thrill for him to do this in public. And I wonder if he was with that darn lady that was with him, because like the little girl said, they was asking each other like questions like they didn't even really know each other. I wonder if he just met the woman or if they really knew each other. I wonder what the story is behind that. Not that it matters that much, but he's disgusting. He's a pig. Dustin, what are your thoughts? The doctor on the plane doing himself in front of a teenager.
Can you hear me now, David?
Yes, I can.
I think that doctor should lose his license and not be able to practice anymore. Yeah, that's just pushing down the line right there. So he don't need to be practicing anymore.
Yeah, I agree with you. Thank you, Dustin. Amaya, yes, you are correct. Their bathrooms are disgusting. Target bathrooms are disgusting, at least the ones by me. Make you want to vomit. I would pee on myself first. Disgusting. Yeah, child, I would, because I'm just like, I can't do it. I can't do it. I can't stand a disgusting bathroom. And yeah. And then I hate when people, if you are the one, I don't want to get into a whole bathroom story, but if you are the one that peed on the toilet, why don't you clean it up?
Yes, please.
Come on now, don't do
And
that.
flush the toilet.
Come on.
Come on now, Denzel. Flush the toilet, okay? Flush it. And listen, if you don't want to use your hand, you lift your foot up and you flush it.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of them now, they have that little button, automatic button. Just flush the toilet.
Exactly. Disgusting.
Disgusted.
And don't forget the courtesy flush.
That part. You got a situation while you in the bathroom. You got a situation. We ain't mad at you, but every now and then in between, you flush. Adele.
There's a thing. As we're talking about this, I'm just thinking about the days where being a doctor mean that you had a certain moral ground, that you became a because you cared about the health, welfare, and whatever it is that's going on with the people that you serve.
You telling the truth. Yes. Uh-huh.
Yeah. Now it's like people are doing certain profession because of the money, and they come with certain things that's just, it's not about the welfare of others. It's just, I'm getting this money and then I can use it to do all the God know what kind of things that I want to do.
Yeah.
But what you said is that I think we need to start thinking about things differently and not giving people free cards just because they have the title of doctor or whatever it may be. Because the thing is, as soon as we talk about it, he's a doctor, you're like, oh, the doctor.
Right.
And sure, we're like, designer did the same thing, but we're almost talking about it like, oh, it's more, we can see him doing it more, even though it was still shocking. But the truth is, once you're that type of person, no matter who you are, that's what you're gonna do. And it's just, we're just gonna have to treat these kind of act on the same level. Like, it's not accepted, it's not gonna be stand for, and that's it. This child was probably terrified. Like,
Yeah.
when I was younger, I remember something similar happened to me, and I'm a Jamaican kid, okay? I was shy, but when anybody comes up to you, we have mouth, okay? And this man put his arm, like he's trying to put it in my lap, and I was pushing his hand back. The bus was packed. And he took the opportunity to try to be putting his hand in my lap. And I remember I was so shocked. It froze me.
Urban Outfitters is the
I just
exclusive
got off of my seat and got off the bus instead of saying anything. Like, sometimes I think about it as an adult and I'm like, why didn't I scream?
Yeah.
Why did I say something? But you get so you can't believe a person would do that it freezes you.
Yeah, it's true. You're telling the truth. You're telling the truth. You're telling the truth. And even as an adult, because you're in shock.
Yeah.
You're in shock. Yeah, you're telling the truth. Yes. Uh-huh. It's very sad. And you know what? I am connecting with you, right? Because we were all outraged. I'm not saying we're not outraged now with that designer thing. The thing is, though, he got caught and wouldn't stop. Remember with designer, that rapper, the flight attendants caught him and kept telling him, knock it off, stop, put it away. And he just couldn't stop. He just wouldn't stop. What the heck? Like, what is wrong with you? But like you said, there was a time way back when where doctors, they lived up to the standard they was held up to, so to speak. Now they out here wilding out just like the rest of us. Like, what the heck? Yeah, you do. You get paralyzed in fear. You do. And I think, that's another conversation we can have one day, Adele, because even as adults, when they are in a position where someone is taking advantage of them, they still can freeze too. Because it's a shock value to it at first. You know what I'm trying to say? Like, oh my God, this person touched my breast, or oh my God, this person touched my behind, and like, oh my God, this person is trying to take advantage of me. It can be shocking.
And that's what made it worse. It was this scrawny old white man. He was like 70, and I was like 15. So it was just like, I think that's what shocked me. Like, who expects this old, almost can't be moving man to come sit beside you? And it was weird. It was weird, and it was ridiculous. So in these kind of situations, when I see like a little girl like that, I always think of that. The things that you would do normally because you don't expect it, you just freeze.
Yeah, that's facts. That's facts. Felicia, what are your thoughts?
Hey, everybody. Good evening. I really love everybody up on this panel, and I have great respect for those in the chat. I'm going to call it how I am. And I would have cut a MF up on that plane. I would have been kicking ass from the back of the aircraft to the front of the aircraft. I would have got off the aircraft, demanded that the police be there. There would have been such a scene that the doctor wouldn't have been able to go home and wait for a knock on his or her door. When I was a young woman, I used to have an after-school class, and this was before I became a mom. And I used to take the kids on outings on the weekend. And there was an incident, this is many years ago, somewhere on the Long Island Railroad or the Metro North, where there was a bathroom where men would gather and have sexual liaisons. And I heard about this and I said, I am very much about loving and protecting children. So I became very aware. So when the boys would be going to the men's room, and I know a lot of y'all don't like it, I would knock on the door and say, who's up in here? I got my kids coming in, and don't touch them. Don't look for them. Don't worry about it, because I'm going to take care of it. Don't mess with them. And my kids would go like,
and be so embarrassed.
Yeah, but I said, I'd rather be embarrassed.
Yep.
And have to go home to your parents and talk about some awful situation happening to you.
Absolutely.
So I think we always need to be aware, even on a plane. You have to remain alert because you have these predators everywhere.
Yeah. Yeah. So I like the fact now that a lot of places have family bathrooms, because I've seen dads when they're with their daughters, like they're standing at the door, like, you know, it's almost like you don't want your child to go in there alone, but what you gonna do, so to speak. You know, but they stand at the door, whatever. But just like you, Felicia, first of all, my son, I hate to say, but I'm gonna tell the truth here. He came in the woman's bathroom with me, so he was like maybe 5 or 6. You know, if his dad wasn't with us, because I wasn't playing that. I wasn't playing that. And the poor child is probably traumatized because he's like, Ma, I can go by myself. I got this. I'm okay. I will say something. I'm like, nope. You coming in this bathroom right here. And then when there was places where there was a family bathroom, then I would go in the family bathroom, and I let him go in the family bathroom by himself. Like, and I would stand outside the door, because usually the family bathrooms is one. It's not like the bathroom where a whole bunch of people could be in there. Usually when it's a family bathroom, it's just one bathroom, and whatever family's in there, you got to wait until that family comes out to go in. So sometimes I would let him go in the family bathroom, you know, do his thing or whatever, and I'll be right outside the door, and I would say every now and then, you okay, you good, did you wash your hands, did you do this? And you know, I had to give him a lesson, don't touch nothing. That was another reason why I drug him in the bathroom, because I'm like, don't touch nothing. Don't touch this, don't touch the toilet seat. You know what I'm saying? Like, I had to give all of those directions or whatever. But it is very sad, because there are stories, these are true stories, where the family let the kid go in the bathroom, and like you said, there was some dark predator in there that did something to the kid when they went in the bathroom.
Absolutely.
It's so very sad. But yeah, I did the same thing. And then when I was allowing him to go in the men's bathroom by himself, sometimes I walk part way in there and be like, I would call his name. I said, you good? He was like, Ma. I was like, no, I ain't playing that. I just want to make sure you good. He was like, I'm coming. Child, men will be coming out that bathroom laughing at me, but I didn't care, because I was going to make sure all was well. But you're right. It's unfortunate that we have to be this extreme, but it is what it is. It is what it is. And you're speaking of that, Felicia, this book, I just finished reading the book. Is a guy, and he's going to come up and do an interview. Matter of fact, I got to contact him probably tonight or tomorrow, where, you know, he's openly gay, but as he was going through his struggle of coming out, you know, saying that he was gay or whatever, he talked about how it was almost like an undercover world at this park where the guys would meet, and they would go in the bathroom to do whatever they was going to do. And he said, and then you know what? They will all leave and go about their regular world. And some of them were openly gay and some of them were not. But they went to this park, and everybody that went to that park as a male, they knew what was what. And they would go in the bathroom and do what they did. And
girl, what's the name of this park?
No, I forgot. I got to go back to the book to see. But you know what, though, E? It's not isolated to one state and one area. So unfortunately, and you know, now it's kind of like a different time, but I don't know if you remember, like a long time ago when Oprah was still on, and remember Down Low Men came in talking. So he pretty much is talking about like almost like time period like that, when everybody kind of wasn't out there, but they knew that if you went to that park, you can kind of be yourself, you could kind of hook up, you know. It's George Michael, come on, yes. Remember, he ended up getting outed by somebody because he went to a park and was kind of doing his thing. Does anybody remember George Michael, the singer?
Yeah, I remember him.
Yeah, I forgot a
Yeah,
popular.
George Michael was saying.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he has a very
I
popular
love George
song.
Michael.
Yeah,
Didn't
I
Wendy
love
Williams
George
out
Michael
him?
in the 80s.
yeah.
Wendy Williams outed him.
No, I don't think she did. I think
She did.
he got arrested, but
She
maybe
did.
she did. But listen, this is how George Michael was arrested. Park. Yes. So it's I can't speak for everybody, but it's a big thing in that community for some. Yep, that park sex and like they get it in because there is their world. They could be themselves, but a lot of them have it in the bathrooms. And the guy even wrote in his book, he said one of the bathrooms was so disgusting. And I was like, good God, I couldn't have did it alone for being in a disgusting bathroom. But that's where they did their thing. Leo,
For the women
yes.
who are offering up their JJs to these men. Oh my gosh, I cannot imagine.
Well, a lot of them don't even know.
Oof.
Yeah. No, the author Mel Brooks for that when it was back in Oprah was that J.L. King. I do remember that. But this guy whose book I just read is someone else. But he was in the music industry. I mean, he got a story to tell. Okay, my screen shifted a little bit. I already came to you, right? In my opinion. I think Leo, I'm at you.
Right. So I want to make the distinction clear. I feel like we are mixing two different topics.
Okay.
Down low, gay men are not pedophiles, right?
Oh no, Leo. We was not. I don't think we just drifted off into that conversation because we was talking about bathrooms and we was talking about people having sex in bathrooms, but we're not confusing at all that down low men being pedophiles. No, we did not go
right.
there.
So I'm glad for the disclaimer. Okay. Yeah, and so the man on the plane is a predator, right? Yeah. He is a predator. A decent man, forget about him being a doctor, but let's say he is a doctor. Okay. But a decent man, a decent human being could be able to not indulge in their proclivities on the plane. Like, it's not that important. It's not that important. Yeah. And I know of a good girlfriend of mine that was almost, taken advantage of as a child, sitting in a car with the best friend of her father. And she was in the back seat, right? And he was making hand movements towards her private areas. And she said, oh, no, stop. Like, what are you doing? And it was just that everybody was shook. Like, the people in the car was shook. She was shook. Everybody was shook because you don't ever anticipate somebody that is within your vicinity, within your vicinity is a predator. Mm-hmm. That you done got down with, that you done drunk beers with, that you done played cards with your best homeboy, your best homegirl, because women do this too, would take advantage of your child. And I feel like your overvigilance with your son, I do also got a good friend of mine who is a male that raised his daughter, that he had his daughter going in the bathroom with him.
Yeah. Yeah.
For many years. Mm-hmm. For many, many, many years, his daughter always went to the restroom with him.
Yeah. Yeah.
And he right there guarding the stall.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So it's not, you think you being over vigilant, but you're doing the right thing. And I encourage people, keep an eye on your children. I don't even care if it's your best friend. Yeah. Keep an eye on your children.
I don't care if it's your mother's brother.
Oh, damn.
That's it. Ooh. That's it.
They're the ones you have to worry about, the family members.
You telling the truth,
family members. That's
you telling
it.
the truth. You telling the truth. I just had to sit up, but you telling the truth.
And y'all, please quit stop letting people hold y'all children in their lap. Your children big enough to sit on the seat. Don't let nobody hold your child in your.
Or
That's
just
right.
leave them out of your eye. I got another girlfriend. She had her daughter when she was 15, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they struggled. Like, it's a whole story. She's still married to this man to this day. But I tell you what, that little girl, I don't care what they was going through. If they had to fold her up and put her in the back seat, I say, where's so-and-so at? She's out here. I mean, they had her everywhere with them. Everywhere with them, because they understood that they were low income, they was in a bad situation, and they knew that their child could be vulnerable. They wouldn't let that girl out their sights.
Yeah. Whew, it's a lot. It's a lot, because you do want to have a healthy balance, but you know, you gotta do what you gotta do.
You gotta do it.
You gotta do it. Juanita, you're in the building. What are your thoughts on this doctor on the plane?
It's just disgusting.
Mm-hmm.
I wonder what type of doctor he is and how does he treat his patients. So if he's bold enough to sit on a plane in front of a child and do
Talking
that,
truth.
just imagine what he would do to his patients, or what he have done to his patients. Now, I was like y'all, when I would take my little grandsons, I babysit them and take them to the mall or something, to the store. And when they was of age, well, I took them in the bathroom with me until they got of age. But then when they got of age to go in there by themselves, I let them go in there, and then I pull the door open and I say, "Hey."
Yep. Come on now.
Hey. I'm a woman, but I'm looking for my grandsons. Jason, Caleb, y'all all right?
Listen. We gotta do what we gotta do. I did it too.
And they would be so embarrassed. They would be so embarrassed. Dee, you embarrassed us. You embarrassed us. Oh, but that's just downright nasty and downright disgusting. His license should be revoked, and he should be investigated at the hospital. Some patients should be interviewed to see if anything out of the ordinary has happened in that situation. Because if he sat on the plane and did that, he'll do anything.
I'm leaning with you on that. I'm connecting with you on that.
He's a predator. I'm telling y'all, he is a predator.
Yeah.
He
is for sure. Now let me say this. So male doctors, and really they should do it across the board, but I know for sure male doctors are not allowed in the room with a female patient alone. The tech, the nurse, or somebody is supposed to go in that room with them. And so I had a lot of times, the doctor and the surgeons, when they would come and they would go see, even though for the most part with peds, most of the time, 99% of the time, their family was a family member was in the room. But there was this one doctor that would always say, is this your patient? If I say yeah, he say, okay, I got to go talk to the parents real quick. Can you come with me? Do you know what I mean? Because, but I know for sure, I want to say it's by law, especially the OBGYNs, not supposed to be in that room without someone else in the room. Now, if they have a situation where it's busy or anything like that, some of them will ask you, are you okay? And you okay if it's just me? But they got to ask you. But technically, no, they should not be in that room by themselves. Because see, and me, if I was a doctor, I wouldn't want to. Because sometimes you get crazy people too.
Accusations.
Yeah, that part. You better come on now. Ain't nobody gonna accuse me of nothing. No, I'm gonna have witnesses in that room. And that's why, especially with the OBGYNs, they was like, I'm sorry, guys, if there's some guys here, close your ears. But that's why they be like, okay, when they doing this pap smear, they're like, okay, this is the instrument. Okay, this is the Q-tip. Okay, now I'm gonna use my finger. You understand what I'm trying to say? Like they tell you everything step by step so that these things won't happen. Yeah, but yeah, you are right. This is who he is. and I can't see it being isolated to this plane. Y'all right with that?
But not only the male doctors, the female doctors, when they're doing your pap smear, when they're doing your exam, they have the nurses in too, because you don't know who likes women.
Right. Yeah, and just in general, who just gonna do whatever they're gonna do crazy. You are correct. You are correct. Denzel, what are your thoughts? I'm listening. I'm just gonna get some real quick, but I'm listening. Go ahead. What are your thoughts?
Okay. The article that you pulled up, was that picture him?
Yes, it was.
Oh, you said that was him?
Yes.
Well, somebody need to smack that smirk off his face. What is he laughing at? What is he smiling about?
That's a picture before he got caught. That wasn't like a mug shot or anything.
Well, no, I know that, but it looked sketchy though. He looked like a creep. That's what I'm trying to say. Mm-hmm. That picture, the way he was smelling, he looked creepy. Mm-hmm. And I do believe that that he's a predator. I do believe it too. Mm-hmm. Allegedly, I do believe it. And the little girl, she's gonna need some therapy. Mm-hmm. Because that's probably it's gonna traumatize her. And I wish the flight attendants asked her what happened.
Yeah.
She told her grandparents, right?
She didn't tell them until it was afterwards. I want to say it was after she got off the plane. And so by the time she got off the plane, that was enough time for him to get out of there. So I notice now what a lot of people do. I'm not one of them. I still check bags, right? But a lot of people, they only carry their carry-on. Right, they only have their carry-on. So then once the plane lands, they good to go. They could just leave the airport because they have their bag. I always have to go down and collect another bag. Where many people now, a lot of them are, especially because you don't have to pay for one carry-on. So a lot of people are doing that now. So he probably got out of there pretty quickly, because by the time she probably told the grandparents and they told, the proper people, whatever, he probably was already going out the airport. Like, how could they catch him?
Right.
That's crazy. Your Uber is connected to you. If you fly Delta, your Uber, so that you can get your rewards for your points, it's connected to the app. So they can see you if you're using Uber or Lyft afterwards, if you are flying Delta, and your phone number is connected. They can find you if they want to.
Right, but I don't know, because he flew back into Boston, right? I don't know that airport like that, if it's a big hub. I think it is, right? I think that's a big hub. I think I've been there before. I think that's a big hub there. So imagine you just got off the plane and now you're in the midst of the crowd. Like, how do we find you? Do you understand what I'm trying to say?
Right.
And I don't think, and I really think if they would have called him overhead, he knew what he did. He was lucky. Yes. So yeah, this is under investigation, because somebody asked. It is under investigation. He got arrested. He got arrested because they went to his house later. So they did go to his house and they questioned him, and he talked about he don't have no recollection of it, but they still arrested his butt anyway.
That's good.
Denzel about to knock the Mario coins out of him, so we going to Boston to serve him a Gray Train beatdown.
Can I say something else, Diva?
Yes.
I'm gonna tell you something. I don't have no children. I don't have no children. But if I did, it would be Hurricane Denzel up in there.
I know that's right.
Yeah, I would tear that place. I would turn that airplane up. I'm glad the little girl told her grandparents. I'm glad she told them. I'm glad he got arrested. And you know what? He needs to go to prison. Okay, he don't need to be around no children. He does not need to be around nobody. You know what they need to take him? They need to take him to prison. They need to take him to prison or take him to Mars. Take him to Mars. Those type of people. You know what? put them on Mars. Put them on Mars so they can suffocate. You know, like like seriously, you know, and then you know, God only knows how many times he has done this.
Yeah.
You know, and so, you know, yeah, it needs to be some, you know, they need to really investigate that, and they need to find out, did he do that at the hospital? Did he do that in other places what he was doing? You know, it's a hospital here in Raleigh, and it's called Wait Med.
Mm-hmm.
Am I taking so long, Diva?
Oh, go ahead. Go ahead.
Oh, it's a hospital here called Wait Med here in Raleigh, and it was on the news. And the man, see, yeah, you got to watch your children. When your children, if they got to go to the bathroom, go with them, because a man, I don't know how he did that, but a man, he snuck his phone into the woman's bathroom so he could videotape them. And I'm like,
there's
what?
a lot of stories like that, unfortunately.
Right. Yeah, that exactly. It's like, are you kidding me? These, like, people are sick. People are really sick, you know. And yeah, you can't trust nobody. You can't trust nobody. You got to be careful who watch your kids, you know, especially you can't even trust these teachers either, because some of these teachers are sick. So I hope
that's a fact, because I had a teacher story that I didn't bring up today. Hold on one second, Denzel. Cameras on the flight.
Okay.
I do not believe they have cameras on flights. I do not believe they do.
I don't think so either.
Oh, they don't?
I don't even know if it would be legal, right? I don't even know.
Well, Diva, you right about these teachers, because let me tell you, my kids, they used to do a disclaimer to all their teachers. They used to say, listen here, don't you touch me or nothing, because my mama crazy.
Okay.
All right, guys. All right.
Well, these teachers thing.
Hold on one second. Let's move on to the next story. Which you know, because this was the doctor story, right? Yeah, the doctor, he's a whole hot mess. And he's yes, he's a primary care physician, and the girl was only 14.
Oh my God.
Yeah, the girl was only 14. So justice is going to be served, okay? And this is just sick, and he needs help. And you are correct, he should not be seeing any patients, okay? So that's that with him. Let's go to this last story. This last story has to do with Applebees. So there's a gentleman who was there in Applebees, minding his business with his kid and the girlfriend or the wife or whoever. And meantime, out on the streets, there was some other couple that, you know, did a hit and run and left. So when the cops was coming to look for them, somebody pointed that, oh, they went in the Applebees. They get up in the Applebees, and some worker at the Applebees told them, oh, there go a couple right there with their kid and whatever. My thing is, the cops should have known a little bit, like, come on, do some math in your head. I would have said, did this couple just get here, or had they been here sitting down eating? Because how do you do a hit and run, you park, then you go up in the Applebee's, you got enough time to sit down, have some type of menus and service or whatever the case may be, but you was the one that did this hit and run. You know, I'm sick of stupid people. So they beat up the wrong people, and now the wrong people are getting charged, even though they found the right people. We're going to get more into this story. Hold on, let me share this screen. It's just insanity to me. I don't understand it. So a man mistakenly beat down by cops in Applebee's with baby in his arms as the real hit and run culprits hid in the bathroom. Okay, so it just don't make any sense. So we're going to see a little bit. You can see a little bit of the beat down. Hold on one second. I'll play this.
Stop it. Stop it. Baby down now. Stop it. Hey, please get the baby. Please get the baby. That's it. We're trying. Come on, man. Let go of him. Squeezing him. Stop. You're squeezing me. Stop. We're not squeezing you. I mean, go, yes, you will. Hey, please stop. Hey, be careful. Your baby head. Your baby head. Be careful. Let him go. Your baby head. Please stop. Stop for me. Somebody grab the baby. Stop for me. Somebody grab the baby. Get the stick. Let him go.
Look at him punching.
Hey, stop. Hey, hey, stop. You can touch me, bro. Don't touch me. I'm just trying to record. I can record legally. Yeah, but you're obstructing my investigation. I'm just trying to watch. Get out of here. Go over there. No. My workplace, bro. This shit. Back up. I'm recording. That's fine. You can record. You need to let us do our job.
Whew. Oh my God. Okay.
That's a hot mess.
Yes, that's some BS. Are you kidding me?
Hold on, guys. And
sorry, Diva.
An Applebee's patron was tackled to the floor while holding a baby and then beaten by the Wisconsin police officers as the real suspects of a hit and run hid in the bathroom in a horrific case of mistaken identity. The police officers were searching for suspects involved in a serious crash on July 20th when the witnesses to the crash said they saw two black men and a woman carrying a child bolt down the road into a nearby Applebee's. Okay, police came in and asked the family to show them what car they came in. The family that got beat up, the police came in and came to them and said, what car did you come in? So they could verify if they were in the car accident or not. Jennifer Harris, the manager working at Applebee's that night, told the outlet a separate unnamed employee informed officers of a man and a woman with a child eating at a table at the restaurant when they approached them for questioning. So how could they have just been in an accident, had enough time to get a table, order some food, and start eating? You got to be smarter than that. Do some math in your head, right? The guy didn't want to comply. He had his baby in his arms. The officers kept telling him he's not under arrest, but he's detained and needed to answer this question, Harris said. He was trying to say he needed to change his son's diapers. He tried to go the other way. They tackled him into a wall, and the baby hit his head on the wall. Okay. Harris told the outlet that the officers tackled the man and began ripping the baby out of his arms as he was on the ground. An officer is seen welling punches down on the man and yelling for him to put his hands behind his back, the video shows. It's just sad. I just felt bad for the baby that it had to go through that traumatic event, Harris told the outlets as he held back tears. Though police later said the couple had nothing to do with the hit and run, the man tackled in the restaurant was charged with disorderly conduct and resisting and obstructing an officer. The woman he was with was also arrested on the same charges and slapped with possession of marijuana as well, according to the outlet. After the horrifying ordeal, police found the actual suspects taking refuge in the bathroom and they were arrested and charged. The second he said he wanted to enjoy his food and for them to go away, the officers should have left him alone. Okay, an employee working that night told the outlet. Harris, who has worked at the Applebee's for about 12 years, was also fired by the establishment, with the eatery blaming her for sharing the video online with news outlets. Representing Harris for wrongful termination is attorney William Sutton, who said they gave Applebee's an opportunity to reinstate her before they pursued legal action. The restaurant chain refused. So there's many people that was wronged in this situation, okay? And I hope you're following. The manager got fired because she the one that took the video and shared it. And they probably pissed that she shared it because they could have told any old kind of story they wanted to, but they was welling on that guy, okay? Community activists protested outside Kenosha Safety Building on Wednesday, demanding the department to be transparent with their investigation into officers' actions. Why did the cops feel they needed the level of force with a baby in his arms? Tanya McLean, the executive director of Leaders of Kenosha, questioned while speaking at the protest. Was it what it is that makes you feel as if you need to be so overly aggressive, so confrontational, like you're ready for a fight? An internal review is underway to determine if the officer's use of force was more robust than what the state requires, the department shared in a statement to the outlet. We were aware of the incident immediately as a result of that process and started a review of it, the statement read. Currently is under investigation. The investigation, when complete, will be comprehensive and dictate whether the officers acted appropriately or not, and if any disciplinary action or additional training is deemed necessary. This whole thing was tragic. Okay, now I think, is this the video? I have a video. I may have to go back to it. Let me see. I'll come back. I'll share again, and because I'll cue it back up to the video, the part that I want y'all to see. I have to queue up to it, but I'll come back to it as I let y'all start speaking. Sebastian, we'll go ahead and start with you.
This situation is so disgusting. The police is at fault here. Applebee's is at fault here. I don't recall hearing. Did you say something happened? Did the baby? Is the baby okay?
The baby hit his head. They don't tell us much more detail about the baby, but the baby did hit his head. But they
Hopefully, this
arrested the
baby is
mother and the
fine.
father.
Hopefully, this baby is fine. The mother and the father needs to be released ASAP. You clearly missed the suspects. These are not the suspects. And I'm tired of the police thinking just because they see another black man that they're the automatic suspect, or just because somebody else is a black person, they're the suspect. Black people don't look alike. Okay? Black people don't look alike. There are different types of black people. Come on now. This is just disgusting. And we need justice. We need justice.
Yeah, we need justice. This is so sad. E, what are your thoughts on this situation?
When that man said, "You can record, but let us do our job," when he said that, I thought to myself, mistakes are costly. I don't know about anybody else, but if I make a mistake at my job, there are consequences. And if that man had pulled out a weapon and took the lives of those officers, I would be the first one down there on the front row of the jury to vote for his acquittal. If police officers knew that citizens could place them under citizen's arrest or be permitted to respond hostile during an unlawful arrest, I think they would be forced to exercise better judgment. Wearing a badge, in my opinion, is not just about passing a police exam. You have to possess critical thinking skills and emotional intelligence. Listen, I am not even a smoker, but the fact that they had the nerve to trump up the charges and add the charges for weed for that woman is beyond me. Who cares if she had weed on her persons? You just blew her high. You beat up her man and you traumatized her baby. The baby hit his head. Case dismissed. And after hearing this story, I will not be eating at Applebee's any further. The fact that the manager was fired for recording the video because it prevents the restaurant and the quote unquote police from spinning the narrative in a fraudulent manner, that tells me all I need to know. Applebee's is an enemy of the state, in my opinion. And allegedly, they need to be shut down. I hope this couple and this baby get millions. Shut the city down.
It's a shame, isn't it? It's just so sad, and it's like time and
What
time.
state was this again?
Huh?
What state was this again?
The same state. What is the other guy that the cops?
Oh, in Wisconsin, Kenosha.
Yes.
Kenosha, Wisconsin. Yes.
Is marijuana legal? Oh, it is illegal. Oh no, but still, she should not. That should have never been.
They wanted to trump up the charges. They wanted to try to justify what they did to these people. And you clearly had the wrong ones. But like I said, by simple thought process and math, and you not being so ready just to get anybody, you should have said to yourself, first of all, I would have asked the people in the restaurant, well, how long were they even sitting here? Did they just walk in? How does somebody, they said they was eating. There's no way you was in a hit and run. You ran in the restaurant. You got a seat. You got a menu. You ordered some food. You got some food. How could that have happened that quickly?
Right.
It's just not even possible. But okay, in my opinion, you're up.
This is when we need to check with our police officers, and we need to make sure that we're not hiring people with a bias. Because here's the thing: they're not all police are not bad, but there are some that come on here with a bias, a trained bias, and they treat us like we are not worthy of a simple task of asking questions. I see so many maniac white people that they get to be questioned. They get to be saying, put your weapon down or stuff like that. And then just because we have a darker skin, we have to be worried about being brutally beaten by the cops when they come to us, even when we don't have a weapon. This is the sad part. The sad part is that we have to sit here and endure it after we done went through all the racist things that we had to go through in our life. We shouldn't have to be worried about the people that are paid to protect and serve us.
It's a shame. It's a shame. Juanita, your thought?
You know what? They need to lawyer up. Contact Jen Crump or somebody and sue the hell out of them. I mean, sue them down to their socks. The city, each officer individual, Applebees, all of them. Because that was just totally ridiculous. And I'm like, in my opinion, I get so sick and tired of seeing our black people being beat down for no reason, and the whites get to go to McDonald's and sit down and eat and have lunch or whatever, or they just handcuff them, and this is getting old, and it's sickening.
Yeah, and it's very sad. Let me just, I think this is the one I wanted to show before I go to Adele. Let me just see if this is the video I wanted to show. Hold on one second. I think the activist is speaking. Okay, let me see.
Take a moment and breathe with me. Let us breathe together and share in something we all have in common: the need to breathe. We are people of different faiths and no faith. Let us share in a moment of silence and hold in love the family whose treatment by some members of KPD brings us here together today. Let's share a moment of silence for that family. Blessed be. I am the Reverend Dr. Monica L. Cummings, Vice President for Congregations United to Serve Humanity, also known as CUSH. I am also the Assistant Minister at Bradford Community Church, Unitarian Universalist. Like the other local leaders and concerned citizens gathered here, when I first heard about and watched the video of what happened at Applebees, I was at first angry, then heartbroken. Heartbroken that an innocent Black man experienced the trauma of being forced to the ground by police for no reason while eating with his family. Heartbroken that a Black baby now has to live with the trauma of experiencing and witnessing her father being yelled at and her little Black body being yanked at by police. Heartbroken that a mother had to experience the trauma of standing by helpless while her partner and baby were being traumatized, and hearing her baby cry and powerless to do anything about it. Most of us want the same thing: safe streets and safe neighborhoods. Most of us want to trust the police, who are sworn to protect and serve. And most of us want the police to trust us. I don't think it's too much to ask the police to be guardians to the communities they are sworn to protect and serve, and not military-minded warriors who behave like an occupying force and treat certain citizens like enemy combatants. We all want to have an encounter with the police where they help to de-escalate the situation instead of tapping into and triggering trauma, both theirs and the citizens they engage with. Most of us are traumatized, including the police. The Religious Leaders Caucus of Kush, back in 2020, the summer of 2020, after Jacob was shot and before Jacob was shot, offered to help the mayor and KPD leaders work on police and community relations. Some of us served, including myself, on the mayor's subcommittee on police policy and procedure. And we worked directly with the former chief of police, Chief Larson. We once again offer our support and are willing to serve our community by working with law enforcement to improve the police and community relationships here in the city we all love, Kenosha. Because if we keep doing what we are doing, we will keep getting what we got. The status quo is not working for anyone. So let's work together for change, transformation, and the beloved community most of us want.
I wanted to show that because this individual is really trying to get change out there, because this has to stop happening. How many of these stories we going to hear? If that baby would have hit his head in the wrong spot, this could have been a whole different situation. It breaks my heart that we keep seeing stories like this over and over again. No, this happened. I thought for sure that this was going to go down in 2020. They tried. She's trying to say, yeah, Ms. Wilson, she's trying to say they tried. And here we are in current time, and the same thing is happening all over again. Okay, you already had him on the floor. He was already down. And it's 2 against 1. And it was actually more than 2 cops there. You already got this man down on the floor, and you wailing on him. What was with all the punches? He was already down. Who am I up to? Am I up to you, Adele?
Yeah. I'm going to take another perspective on this, and I'm going to say, what the enemy wanted to use for evil, God is going to make this be good. And I think without knowing it, they're going to bless this family very well. And because at the end of the day, you can tell they react in the situation with pure adrenaline. Like you said before, no reasoning, no consideration of just simple things that could make them understand that this could not have been these people. And a lot of those restaurants, look how long it takes for even the food to get to your table, much less for you to get a table, sit down, be eating, and all of that. How? What am I going to shoot you with my child? It should have been handled calmer, more rational. They need to change the way that they train police. I work with police in my time, and a lot of the way that they are told to approach certain situation is with intimidation. Yelling, screaming, so that the perpetrator won't be able to react, won't be able to think. But the whole only thing about that is, too, they're not able to think because they're just screaming, they're just yelling, they're just like, if you could think for 1 second, you'd have realized that the situation was not okay. And the other part of it that made it worse of all, they're charging these people to support the narrative that they want to put out there to make it seem that they didn't do anything wrong. It's like this doctor, and I don't want to, it's a big difference, but same of the same. You did something wrong, and now you're trying to cover it up by putting out there to say I did it. What if the video wasn't there? The video wasn't there. You'd say, okay, this guy was not. Everybody. Once the situation happened, we know it can be you, but you should cooperate. But the problem with this is, I have my rights. You don't have. Whether I react nicely or I react rough, I still have rights. You have to treat me rights. You have to treat me with certain layer of respect. Yes, you need to harass me, but you don't need to be punching me in my face. That's not part of it, So there's so many things in this situation that was off, and you have to pay for that. Sorry.
Yeah. Thank you, Adele. Felicia, what are your thoughts?
Children are to be loved and protected. This has been a bad week for the children. There was no respect for this child who could be so easily harmed.
Yeah.
Policing in this country has been what it's been since its inception.
Yeah.
So there's always talk about bringing in reform and change, but that piece on immunity, inherited immunity, hasn't gone away. This is why they can behave in the manner that they were behaving. No, there are going to be no repercussions. It's going to be the people of Kenosha who have to pay this bill right now. And it's going to be a heavy bill. I'm just so sorry for the things that we're dealing with every day when we have to figure out how we're going to survive in this economy, keep our families going, take good care of ourselves. You get a chance to go out to dinner, and this is what happens. Some worker who doesn't know the difference between this family and that family, so anxious to come forward with, yes, that's them.
Yeah.
I stand with E tonight. I'm not eating in no Applebees until they make this right.
Amen.
You know what
They need to make this right.
I agree.
Yeah. Care about a 3 for 2 special, 2 for 1 special, whatever they got going on. You right about that.
No thing.
You right. And you know what, Felicia, you make a good point. Nobody's going out to eat every night. So when we and I'm just saying, lack of a better word, when we pull our coins together and decide we're gonna go have a nice little dinner out with our family, wherever we decide to go, that's our moment.
And you don't expect to get thrown down from the table, interrogated by the popo. I mean, I'm going to be very direct. I don't particularly care for law enforcement. I've had more than my share of encounters.
Yeah.
But you rolling up on people at the dinner table?
Whew.
Just throwing people down, dragging babies from their parents? Because you think because some worker there who told you a falsehood, that person's still working. But the righteous one they want to put out?
Because she filmed it.
Well, I'm not going there to eat at no Applebee's. And I'm not going to forget this.
Yeah, well, you
don't protect your customers. You don't treat your clients with dignity and respect. And you've got co-workers who do that you want to let go and you put out. And the ones who falsely accuse, you keep.
That part. Because it doesn't make any logical sense whatsoever. I rarely ever walked into any restaurant and 2 seconds later, I'm sitting down, got my food and my drinks and was eating. Even when I sat down right away, you got to wait for your waitress to come over and say, I'm your waitress tonight. Can I help you? They give you a minute with the menus, or maybe you might have had, come on now. We know the math.
Baby, please, even if you have a reservation, you have to wait.
Come on now. The math is not mathing.
And then they got to take the drink. They take the drink orders.
That part. I said, Diva, what do y'all think about what's going on in Africa, Nigeria? This has all come to a head.
Niger.
Africa, Niger. This has all come to a head over the past weekend. What's going on? I do not know, but give me a minute before you tell me, Sebastian. Leo, what are your thoughts? Gemini, I'm going to come back to you. Thank you for that comment. I'll come back to it. Leo, what are your thoughts?
This was all over a hit and run, y'all. A hit and run. Not people were murdered in the bank or some terrorist event. This is all over a hit and run. A car accident drove the popo to the Applebees. Somebody gave them some faulty information and beat an innocent man down in his face, snatched his baby, got his woman charges for some Mary Jane. I'm like, this police force, everybody need to go. Like, what? How? Who? Y'all ain't asked no questions. Y'all couldn't calmly talk about this with a hit and run, y'all. This was not life-threatening. It was not people lives were in danger that you didn't like the cooperation of this man that's at the Applebee's with his family.
Right.
It wasn't that serious. It was not that serious. That some questions could not have been asked for answers to get to where you want it to be, that the police had to go to violence.
Whew. Violence. And this man was already on the ground.
Serious.
Right. Already on the ground.
It wasn't.
Yeah.
And I don't understand how it is. I do understand. I do understand how they're charging them, how they charged this young lady, the mother of the child, with the Mary Jane, charging her because they're trying to cover up for their negligence, not being able to
assess a situation correctly. But you know what? Right. So y'all arrest them, then you search them. This is a mess. So so it's pronounced Niger. Am I pronouncing it right now? The situation.
Yes,
Niger.
Niger.
Niger. Okay.
A coup went on in Niger.
I usually have a pen at me with me here. I'm gonna have to look up this situation. I really can't comment right now because I didn't know anything was going on, but I am going to look into the situation. And thank you for giving me the right pronunciation. I appreciate that. Regina, what are your thoughts on this subject?
Okay. Good evening, Diva. First, I agree with everybody else about the police, but one of my main things that I wanted to address was the hospitality industry.
Yes.
The NDA, social media assignments and stuff that they have where you can only talk to the person that represents the company for social media. I think they need to get rid of that. With the climate that we live in, people should have the right to record if they feel like the business that they work for is unclean, unhealthy, is putting people's health at risk. People shouldn't get fired for that. And this lady potentially saved this man's life. You know what I'm saying? So I think that they need to get rid of that altogether. Also, to echo
wait, Regina, freeze for one moment, because you just gave us some great information and some insight as to their bogus reason for firing her. I'm saying bogus, but I'm hearing what you're saying. You're saying this is policy because she shared it on social media platforms, and because she was working for Applebee's, they're not allowed to film. So if another patron or something did that video, she will perhaps still be working. I'm following you. I'm connecting to what you're saying. That's another layer on the situation. But under these circumstances, like you said, she most likely did save that man's life, because once they found out and they looked up and saw that she was recording, I think they lightened up some on what they was doing. That's just my personal opinion. But go ahead, Regina.
Yes, ma'am. I agree with you on that. And also, when E was saying that, or I think it was in my opinion, who said that we need to meet the police with the same amount of force. There's a famous quote by Malcolm X, and it says, if anyone puts their hands on you, make sure they never put their hands on anybody else. And I think when that fight happened at the riverfront,
oh Lord,
it gave it energized a certain part of the African American community if their parents were activists, if their parents stood up for something. This is energizing us. I'm a millennial. I'm an 80s baby. I grew up in the 90s. This is energizing me. The things that they're trying to do and insinuate, I see as that's a right that I was born with. You know what I'm saying? So when I look at this and I see that these people were attacked and it was absolutely nothing they could do in me, the anger in me wants death. Because like everyone here is saying, you get tired of seeing your people having to comply, even when their rights are being violated. And like Malcolm X as well, anybody whose rights are not being met and being kept and being respected, I'm on their side. But in this country, majority of the time, it goes against people that look like me. And I'm just sick and tired of it. You know what I'm saying? But we do need, the police need to be held accountable. But this is a big bell, because I work in the hospitality industry. This is a big bell ringing, because that is a policy across the board. Every restaurant that you go to, no manager, no employee, no matter what they see going on, no matter what they think is wrong, they cannot record it and show it to anyone. And they need to change that.
Ooh. So, Regina, I'm going to tap into your conversation this way. Right now, the actors, the writers, they're fighting for certain things. And there are a group of people over there, Bravo, that are pretty much saying, it's like a shut your mouth policy. We don't care what you see, shut your mouth. And so now I'm connecting on the level of, I think, across the board, for all types of jobs, no matter what industry it is, there has to be some different rules and regulations written, because you're pretty much telling me no matter what I see, the meat could be old and spoiled, and people back there cooking it and covering it up because they know how to cover up smells with different, seasonings and vinegar and whatever the case may be, and y'all still selling it to the people, and I got to shut my mouth.
That's correct.
Yeah, I know. I know some people in the food industry too. I hear you. And this could be a bigger conversation. I don't want to take the train off the track too much. And here's the hard part about YouTube, right? YouTube, we don't really have that much freedom. And I definitely got to watch my words. But I wish it was a different platform where we can have a greater and more open, free conversation, because this is definitely a situation that you tapped on, that it could be greater conversation, because a lot of change needs to happen, right? But I do know this, right? And I'm part of the older generation here. One thing I learned, especially just working, and I worked in all industries in my life, right? When I first started working, I worked at McDonald's. And now this is many moons ago. You probably wasn't even born yet, right? And then I also worked in retail. Then I worked in corporate America. And I also worked in a hospital. Then I worked in insurance companies. One thing I learned is the way we're going to get our agenda across and make a real impact is, by different non-violent ways, right? And I don't want to get too deep into that, but and the reason why I say that is they will consistently move the goalposts. But what we have to understand is where the goalpost is now, just like they're doing to this couple. They was dead wrong, but they moved the goalpost to say, oh, you had Mary Jane on you. Oh, you was obstructing justice, and I was just asking you a question. So all the rules are written right now so that they can flip it, twist it, and dip it all kind of way to make it seem like you was in the wrong, even though you was in the right. You understand what I'm saying? Anybody out there?
Ma'am. Mm-hmm.
So with that being said, it's sort of like that saying is you got to learn how to play them at their own game, beat them at their own game, right? Because it's a dirty, nasty, filthy game. and you got to use this right here to beat them at that dirty, nasty, filthy game. And I do know that it's triggering for us. It's hard for us. But when we take the route that they're taking, unfortunately, we will always end up, for the most part, on the wrong side of the stick, the wrong end of the stick. But there are ways to combat that and get ahead of that. And this is just an analogy, so to speak. More of us got to get on the other side of the door. And when more of us get on the other side of the door, and this is just Diva's opinions, right, and thoughts. When more of us get on the other side of that door, and because you got to see what the people are doing so that you know what you're fighting up against, right? And you can't see on the outside. You can't see what's going on the inside if you're on the outside. And the only way you're going to get on the inside is you got to play that game. So they let you inside the door. And see, once they let you inside the door, they 100% trust you. Once they trust you, they will say stuff in front of you that'd be offensive to you, but they don't even realize they're saying it no more because now you're inside the door and they're seeing you as one of them. But the only way you're going to change things is by being inside of that door, not outside of the house, because you don't know what you're really seeing when you outside looking in. You got to be in the inside. But I want to stop that piece of the conversation there. But I heard everything that you said, and I'm connecting. I'm just connecting in a different way. Denzel, what are your thoughts on this situation?
It's messed up.
Mm-hmm.
Because I saw this earlier. I saw two stories. Well, I saw another story like this, and it really made me it made me angry because for one, if the woman that was working there, because I'm just asking you just to make sure, the girl that was working there, was she recording?
She was a manager. She just recorded the incident.
Was she one of us?
I really don't know.
Okay.
No, she was a white lady.
Yeah. Oh, because you know what I did see? Yeah, she was. She definitely was. Because I saw the interview with her too. I think I'm about to play another one when you're done speaking, and I think she did that one. Mm-hmm.
So did they fire her?
She's fired.
That's messed up. You never win when you play dirty, and you know what? I probably would never go to an Applebee's restaurant because they food. I'm gonna be real. They food is not all that anyway.
That part right there, and you know what? And that's where Regina, because you got me. My wheels are turning my head. That's where we can hit them at right there. Start online by telling everybody don't eat at Applebee's.
Okay.
Don't eat at Applebee's.
And they serve old steak.
That part.
Ugh.
That part. You know what? That's matter of fact, I'm gonna post on my social media. Let's all stop eating at Applebee's. Do right by this couple. Do right by that manager, because I promise you, if that chick didn't have that video, this wouldn't be going down this way. It would be that couple's word against the others. Exactly. That woman saved their life 100% in so many ways. Thank God for these phones. Thank God for the recording. And thank God for her being bold, saying, no, I got the right to record.
Right.
And the only reason why they didn't black out on her for recording is because she didn't look like us. God bless her.
You know. That's right. Thank the Lord.
Yeah. God bless her. God bless that woman in so many ways. Let me just share one more video with y'all really quickly. This is one of my other ones that I really want to show. I don't know where I clicked out of it by mistake, but let me see if this one is one of them.
Mistakes by police officers across the country has stirred outrage online. And while no one was injured in these incidents, critics are calling the officers careless and say they're inflicting unnecessary trauma on citizens.
Baby head, be careful.
In Kenosha, Wisconsin, local police mistakenly arrested a black man in an Applebee's who they thought was involved in a hit and run. A viral video of the incident shows the black man holding a baby while being handled by officers. Once he released the child, officers pushed him to his stomach and beat him before putting the cuffs on. The suspect Kenosha police were looking for was reportedly hiding in the bathroom when the incident took place.
How are you resisting when you got up to walk away and you were not under arrest?
But the man in the video has been criminally charged as well. He faces disorderly conduct charges and resisting an officer.
A kid bringing out his trash to be dumped and he's getting harassed by it.
Another viral social media video shows the Lansing Police Department in Michigan handcuffing a young black man while searching for a carjacking suspect. Lansing police ultimately released the young man in the video and put out a statement clarifying the, quote, unfortunate misunderstanding. A different officer was in the area and saw the young man pictured in the viral video wearing a very similar outfit and made contact with him. Our hope is we can put this unfortunate case of wrong place, wrong time behind us and continue to represent the community that we serve. In Texas, a black family was held at gunpoint on a Dallas area highway because they believed they were driving a stolen car.
It looks like I made a mistake.
Turns out one of the officers made an error entering the wrong state from the license plate into their computer system.
It could have went all wrong for us though.
It's not okay. And I thank God that we were not physically injured, but we have suffered a lot of mental and emotional trauma from this.
These incidents come during a period of increased scrutiny for police following the death of Tyree Nichols and a nationwide staffing shortage of rank and file officers. Now, Lauren, despite the mistaken identity situation in Kenosha, the police department and the local county attorney have doubled down on those charges. In a statement, the police department said, quote, the male attempted to leave against officers' orders and was restrained. He resisted, and the incident that unfolded on camera unfolded from there. So again, this is a situation where they are filing charges against that person, even though it was a mistaken identity situation, for resisting arrest.
I mean, this is reminding me of some other reporting that you'd done where we talked about, what do you do? Is there certain reforms that can go into place when it comes to these mistakes that are happening, and how that's really difficult to do because there's so many different circumstances. But it's like, what is the answer to the question about, accountability? What do you do about this? So Jamal Andrus reporting from Dallas. Thank you very much.
Whew. I just wanted to show that.
Now, Diva, I saw that one with Dallas on the freeway, and that little boy was crying his butt off because those officers had them out on gunpoint on the highway.
Yeah, I just wanted to show that because it is just like this. The situation is not isolated. It's like time and time again, some people, they will ask questions. Okay, and they could be the right suspect. They will ask them questions down. Okay, but then there's others who you get handcuffed and the questions come afterwards.
Beat down.
Can I say something, Diva?
Yes.
Did you hear me earlier? Because it shifted.
Yes, I did.
Oh, the thing. Excuse me. What I was trying to say is that this is the thing. I feel sorry for the for the family. I feel sorry for them and their child. They're gonna have to get some therapy, and I hope they get every cent from Applebees. I hope they get every cent. And another thing, I don't want to be too long. Another thing is that our people, we go through a lot of mess and we get treated like trash. And I'm sick of it, and especially with the police, because I saw that story about that teenage boy. He was taking out the trash, and he wasn't the right person that was looking for it. They need to be held accountable, and this is what they need to do. Diva, they need to, the justice system across the board, especially the police, they need to treat everybody the same. If the person is wrong with that crime, they need to get charged for that crime. It doesn't matter what race they are. Everybody that do bad things, they all need to get charged the same. That's it.
Yeah, you're right. Jamie, I'm shocked they doubled down. I'm not shocked. They doubling down because you know what? They're trying to really make it seem like they didn't do nothing wrong. That's
exactly.
why
That's what they're trying to do. That's why they have the Mary Jane charge.
Yep. That's why they doubling down. And Emmanuel, I do get what you're saying, right? Because the Applebee's can be owned by individual person, like a franchise or whatever. But you know what? In this case, all the Applebee's are going to have to suffer.
Well, why doesn't the corporation make it right and give that woman her job back then? Because they can override it. So we can't say the corporation, their hands are tied. Right. They're not tied.
I was about to say the same thing. That social media disclosure thing, it needs to be changed across the board. Like, period. People should be able to feel safe and feel like they have a way to protect themselves. And right now, the camera is like the number one thing protecting people, keeping people alive, keeping people out of jail. You know, so I don't agree with that. And I work in hospitality, so it's like, from experience, I'm just saying it's not good, you know. So
yeah, you are correct.
I think it's good that we're leaning on the Applebee's, but let's not forget that the police are the main culprit in this situation, and Applebee's not the one that allow the police to act the way they did.
No, what we're leaning on Applebee's for is they fired the manager who
just look, because right now I think so far that I'm listening, I'm doing a lot of listening, and I do understand that they are very much wrong in the situation. There's no way you should have that evidence and act like it should not be out there. Whatever policy you have needs to go on the back burner. It gives me that idea of supporting the police no matter if they're wrong or right, and that's not okay. But the thing is, at the top of the list is the police right now doing what they always do, and that's trying to cover themselves.
I think right, facts. But I think everybody's equally responsible, right? But hold on one second. Gemini says, sad at a college football game in the South, I was forced to drop my pants and lift my shirt by cops and security in line in front of hundreds of people because my car keys made the detector go off. Oh my goodness.
That's messed up.
Oh
wow.
My goodness. I'm so sorry that happened to you. So sorry that happened.
You have to be careful about these football games in the South because they are atrocious.
But wait, let me just add this. The reason why I'm on Applebee's too, because we got to do things simultaneously, is because the server or whoever said, oh, there go a couple over there with a baby and it's a male and a female. And to my understanding, they was looking for 2 males and a female and a baby from the car crash, but neither here nor there. The server should have said, well, I don't know. And somebody had to see these people run in the bathroom. How did they eventually find out that they was in the bathroom? The real people that did the
that
crime,
part.
Right? That part. Here's my other problem. The server, whoever pointed them out in the first place, make it make sense. Why would you point them out? Because I'll be like, well, how long ago was the accident? Because everybody that's sitting down in here right now, they've been here for a minute.
Exactly. That's why Applebee's is responsible for this.
Yeah, come on now. You better talk to
Applebee's is way more responsible than the police in this, in my opinion.
Because somebody in Applebee's pointed to that table and pointed those people out.
It was a setup, Diva. It was a setup.
That's the thing.
They're both culpable. They're both culpable because you can't go into someone's business and just
hold on 1 second, Adele. Regina, because you're in this field, go ahead and say what you need to say.
They're both culpable. The reason why I think that we're focusing on them as well is because you just can't come into an establishment because you're the law and act any kind of way. When they come into my restaurant, they come to the manager, they asking to see me if I called or if one of my employees called. So they're both culpable. And like I keep saying, like I keep reiterating, if you haven't worked in hospitality, if you don't know anybody that works in that field, that is a very problematic clause to your employment. You can do the littlest thing and you could be fired. You could take a selfie, you could be fired. You know what I'm saying? You could see something wrong, you could be fired. In some cases, you could be even prosecuted. I can understand when you're talking about recipes and all that, but when it comes to this behavior, because we expect our customers to behave a certain way, we expect our employees to behave a certain way, and the guys that we pay our tax money to, we definitely expect them to behave a certain way. So to me, they're both culpable, but everybody involved need to be fined, sued, in jail, whatever it needs to be. It needs to happen.
I'd like to say this. I know damn good and well that they would not roll up into no Capitol Grill throwing people down and dragging families out.
Come on, Felicia.
Okay, we're not going to do that here. We're not rolling into no Nobu. I don't care what kind. You FBI, we're not throwing nobody down, beating and pulling on their baby because somebody pointed them out.
Yeah, you better talk about it. Emmanuel, you're in the building. What do you want to add to this conversation?
Yeah, I just came to call in because I agree with Adele. I don't think that they're equally responsible. I think the main culprit is the police. They're the ones that did that to that man. They're the ones that were punching him. They're the ones that were doing the injustice. This could have been done at any place. It could have been Applebee's. It could have been McDonald's. It could have been Chick-fil-A. So I don't understand, like, how are they equally responsible?
So because hold on one second, guys. I want to add this to the conversation, Emmanuel. The police didn't just walk up in there and go table by table and they said, oh, you know what? I think it was probably this black couple here with the woman, the male, and the baby. They're the ones. They spoke to someone. Someone pointed that table out. Then they went to that table. So if I'm IDing you, Emmanuel, the only reason why they came to your table is because I said, it's him over there. It's Emmanuel. He's the one you're looking for. So they may have eventually, if let's just say nobody pointed them out, and they said, we just want to look around the restaurant because we think a suspect came in here. And if they would have just been walking up to tables randomly, no, but they went to that table directly because someone in the restaurant, an employee, pointed them out at that particular table. So what I'm saying is that you were part of the problem by pointing me out, and I'm not doing equal 50, 100%, who, of course, the cops is the one that put that man down there and was punching him. So yeah, they are responsible. I'm not relieving them of their responsibility, but I'm also saying that if I randomly forget about this case, if I wrongfully point somebody out as the one that did the crime, then I need to go down too, because now you done messed up an innocent person's life. So they were pointed out by an employee that they were a couple, that they're a couple with a baby and a woman and a this and that. Like there can't be more than one set of black people that's together with their family and a baby. They pointed them out. Then they went over there and asking these people what car they drove up in. And I'm saying to you, logically, if I even was a cop, and listen, I ain't go to Harvard or Yale. Logically, I'm gonna say, because I eat out a lot. Logically, I'm gonna say, well, how long have they been sitting here? Do you know? Have they been here? Give me 1 minute. Give me 1 minute.
Okay.
How long have they been sitting here? Have they been here 30 minutes, an hour, 45 minutes? That's part of the darn investigation.
That part.
Come on now. That's part of the investigation. That's 101 investigated. Okay. Was they here 15 minutes? Did they just get in here? How the heck does anybody who was literally just in a car accident, they sitting at the table, they got drinks, and like y'all said, we all know the order when you go to a restaurant. You get the menu, you look at the menu. The waitress comes over, they introduce themselves. The waitress, the waiter, whatever, they introduce themselves and they say, can we take some drink orders really quickly? Do you happen to know, maybe do you want me to put in some appetizers too? And then I'll come back and I'll get your meal order. So food doesn't just arrive at your table 2 minutes after you get there. So I'm telling you, mathematically, unless you just dumb, stupid, and bold, mathematically, how is this couple at this table and got food at their table but yet they was just in a car accident and just got there. Do the math on that. So what I'm saying,
but it's Kenosha. It's Kenosha. Remember Kyle Rittenhouse? I don't know. Everybody might not be up on that.
I know that
but
story
he killed 2 people and injured 1 person and got off.
Come on,
he
now.
got off.
They
because
really.
self-defense, though. That's why he got off.
No, it wasn't self-defense.
It was. They kicked his face. They kicked his face and stomped on his face.
Wait,
that's another.
Leo, hold on 1 second. Before we even get into all of that, I just want to say, mathematically, the fact that they were on that couple the way they were doesn't make any type of sense.
Exactly.
Of course not. Of course not.
So wait, hold on 1 second, Adele. Hold on 1 second, because I just gotta say this. Give me a minute, right? So what I'm saying to you is they got help. Someone pointed me out. They pointed me out and said, come to my table. So that gave the cops a head start, a jump up to come over to my table and start questioning me and my family and asking me, how did I get here? What car did I drive? So I don't want to have this fight, because to me it's ridiculous to say who's more responsible than the other. All I'm saying is, when we talk calling for responsibility, yeah, I want to throw Applebees in on that responsibility, because it don't make no sense to me whatsoever that this went down and now this manager doesn't have a job. So bottom line is, y'all never convinced me. I don't want Applebee's. I don't want their 2-for-1 coupon. I don't want their free appetizer night. I do not want their desserts. I do not want their food. And if I'm hungry and starving, I will go to Walmart and get a box of oodles and noodles and eat that first before I eat at Applebee's again. So I'm people who say
anyway.
That's it.
Can I just make this point really quickly, please? Because I think you missed totally what I was saying. If you remember what I said first, I said that all of that, what you were saying about the timing, all about that I even used your point to say it, just like you said before. I said, just like you said before, if they used some common sense, they would have known that this was not right. It would have made sense. But that individual person that had the wrong information, just like Emmanuel said, that person could be anywhere. She should not come out in the situation like that. And like you said, she herself too should have been able to say, you know what, these people have been all sitting here. So she could be anywhere. And then I'm not saying Applebee doesn't have any part of it. I was listening. I was sitting and listening to the whole thing. And because I was listening, I didn't hear the police come up a lot. And I just wanted to say, let's try to balance it out so that the police come up more, because their responsibility in this is more than Applebee's. And that doesn't take up Applebee's, because that manager is integral in this situation. I said that in my summary too. If that video wasn't there, they would argue, which is why I said the charge. That charge, they would have said they had a reason for it, this, that, and the third. And if that video was not there, you can't see them punching him in the face, all of that. We gotta listen to each other, from the thing that I said before to the thing I said now, and the thing I'm saying, I may say later. Because if you miss that and you only react to one thing I said, it makes it sound like I'm missing the mark and I'm just talking out of my ass. And I really am not. I'm really listening to everybody. I listened to everything you said, and I'm really coming from an intellectual place. And I'm trying.
Nobody said that.
Sorry?
No one said that, Adele.
No, I'm not saying you said that anything. I'm saying that we have to listen to everything that we say, because if you only react to one thing I said and you didn't remember what I said before, not that you should remember everything, but I'm a person.
No one reacted to what you said, though.
No, I'm a person. I come from a place of love, no matter who you are, no matter what.
So we don't have to fight on here. Here's the bottom line, right? We all agree then. We all agree.
Exactly. There you go.
Thank you for the super chat. I truly appreciate it. Thank you so much. Okay. So we all agree, but I'm just saying, Emmanuel, I won't be at Applebee's, but I hear you though. I do.
I'm not going to Applebee's either.
I'm right there with me. Don't give me no coupon.
I don't
But Diva,
yes,
Diva, let me just ask you this really quick question.
Yes, of course you can.
If you Diva owned a, I don't know, business, whatever,
you can say
and you
Applebees. You can say Applebees. We could go there because they franchises. You're right. They're owned by individual people. Come on, we could talk.
So yes, you bought the franchise, you saved your money, you invested in it, you're really happy with your restaurant. Now we know a lot of people are not working in food anymore because they don't like the salary. A lot of people don't like to work anymore. So that's another factor. So you're happy to hire anyone that's applying. Okay. Now you don't know these people. You're just hiring them. One day, one of your employees who you have no control over in their decisions happens to wrongfully identify someone and this whole thing erupts. Why should we boycott your restaurant?
Because she fired the person who was right.
Right.
No, that's not why. It's not because of the firing only.
So I hear. So let me respond to Emmanuel. Right. So let me say this, Emmanuel. First of all, when you look at the historically and you study management or upper management, usually they say the same thing about employees as they say about a parent and a child. They say you want to know you want to know a child, you want to know what the child parent is like. When you know that when you know the child, right? So like they say, the apple don't fall too far from the tree. Usually when you have a manager that is kind, giving, caring, this, that, and the other, usually it trickles down to the employees, and the employees are the same way. They have a similar temperament, right? Usually. Not saying this all the time, but usually they have a similar temperament. So here's the thing. Running my own business, I wouldn't just hire anybody. I would not. And I don't care how desperate I am. So I have, like, down from retail, I learned a hard lesson, in retail when managing. The biggest time in clothing retail, and I think it might be in restaurants too, is around the holidays, okay? Once Thanksgiving hit, that Black Friday is on and popping from there. Everybody comes out, you're super busy, and you're busy even till the day after Christmas. The day after Christmas is a similar shopping day to the same as Black Friday. Just a little short story there. One time we was working in retail, I'll never forget, there was a bad apple. This chick was a menace to society, and she was bringing the whole morale down with everybody, right? And so I was what they call the key holder, similar to supervisor, but anywho, right? So the manager over me, everybody kept saying, what are you going to do about so-and-so? Like, she's too much. Nobody wanted to work on the shift with that person, right? So her husband told her, he said, fire her. And she's like, but I need her. He said, you're doing extra hours. She causing everybody anxiety anyway. You might as well just go ahead and do the extra hours in peace. He said, fire her. And I never forget that moment. I was very young when this happened. I never forget that moment, because he told her, either way, you compensating for her, you're doing the extra hours, you're doing all the work, then you got to meet with people, explain to people, apologize to all the other workers, because that chick is a menace. He said, fire her. And it stuck in my head forever. I will fire every last rotten egg and try to work there and do that thing myself before I have a rotten egg. And I will not just hire anybody, even in my desperation. I try to ask the good workers to do overtime first before I hire somebody out of desperation. Because you know what? At the end of the day, I promise you this, that one will always come back to bite you in the behind. And when you're doing interviews and you get that instinct in you that that person is not the one, I don't care how desperate you are, don't hire them, because that always will be the one that come back to bite you in the booty and cause you all types of headaches. So I understand what you're saying, right? But I also would not want to own a franchise in a corporation that will allow such a thing to happen. So maybe at that point, I would have to sell my Applebees before I sell my soul. But I'm not going to sell my soul to the devil in the detriment of my own people just to say that I got a business. The for sale sign is going up. I'm done with Applebees, because when you want to hire this woman that's doing a video that darn near saved that man's life, because you see the trickery and games they playing, even though we got the video. Imagine the trickery and games they would be playing without that video. And that's why Go ahead. I'm sorry.
And can I also respond as your manager that works at your so-called Applebee's?
Yeah.
I would have called you and told you what actually happened. I would have been on the side of the family that was there. I would have tried to get the police off of those people. I would have told you everything that happened. So
the employee was wrong.
I'm just talking from a manager because he addressed you as an owner.
Right.
But I work as a manager.
Come
you
on
know
now.
what I'm saying? So that's the kind of protocol. I don't tolerate that. I work with kids. So, and you are also correct. They go by your temperament.
Yeah.
I have 3 sons myself. So I always walk in this essence of my young 3 black men gonna one day walk out this door and I'm not with them. The grace that I show other people, not just black, other people, everybody. Is the same kind of grace that I expect for my sons. And so when I see that it's not done, I have a problem with it. And I point out the problem in the whole picture. So Miss Adele, I don't want you to think that I was talking like over you or not seeing what you're saying, sis, because I definitely do. The police are going to be held accountable because we see that. But most of the time when it's like that, the people in the background tend to fall away. Like the man that owned the store at that got George Floyd killed. You know what I'm saying? So we have to point out all these things that we see. So when there are people in the community that can address it, you know, it could be people listening right now that can address this thing and be like, you know what, that is something that we need to change. That is something that we need to address, not just to protect the customers, but to protect everybody. Like that could happen to anybody. Asian hate crimes, Muslim hate crime, Latino hate crime. It's hate crimes against everybody. So that social media, not being able to record, let me do my business, it needs to be looked at, and it needs to be looked at in a realistic view of where we're at in our country today. You got to protect everybody.
You do. And just for instance, to me, when you know you ain't doing nothing wrong, go ahead, record, watch me, whatever. I told you I did peds, right? And putting an IV in a pediatric patient versus putting in an adult that's just going to at least hold their hand still or their arm still or whatever is 2 different ball games, okay? The way we used to call it papoose, got to wrap them babies up and hold out the limb or whatever that we want to put that IV in and then hold their hand tight so they don't move, okay? And the parents would be over me, at my neck. Can I be in the room? Yeah, you could be in the room. You could watch me. Okay? You could watch me because I want you to understand I ain't going to do nothing wrong. I ain't no miracle worker because they like, are you going to get on the first shot? Well, it all depends. Pray to heaven. Pray to God. And hopefully I will. Okay? But I want you could watch me. I ain't got no problem with you watching me, with you standing over my neck because I ain't going to do nothing crazy. So my thing is, why are you afraid of the video? Because you know you up there doing something wrong. But anywho, did everybody get to speak at least once on this particular subject? Because y'all already got me.
I did
to the last story, and I'm not going to because y'all done got me in
Oh,
overtime.
you out of time. You out of time.
I love you. You know what, Diva? I love you. You know I'm just attacking the story. Just like you said, I attack the story, not you.
No, listen, Adele, you know me. We catch the train, we don't catch feelings, okay? And listen, when we catch this train on here, it leads to a better conversation if everybody is okay speaking their own ground and their own passion. And y'all know how I get hyped up. Okay, I get hyped up. But the thing I appreciate about all of y'all is y'all know I get hyped up and y'all don't really pay me no darn mind. Y'all don't care. You know what I mean? So it's okay. I never really get mad at anybody. And trust me, y'all, when I'm done with this, I don't feel sideways about nobody. I love the fact that we're able to say our opinions, to speak our mind. I always love it when somebody new pops in and can give us, some more insight on whatever subject we are talking about. I love having these conversations because we need to have them, but I want us just as a community, period, right? We got to make things happen, and we do have the power to make it happen. And all I'm saying is, My heart breaks for the individual franchise owner of that particular Applebee's. But I'm saying the way justice happens, you know what they say, you hit them in the pocket. I bet you 100%, if every last one of us stop going to Applebee's, they'll figure something out. But when it ain't hitting their pockets, they ain't got to figure nothing out. But just like way back in, our ancestors, they said, we gotta sit on the back of the bus. Well, then we'll walk. We ain't taking the bus. They shut the whole economic system down by not taking the freaking bus. Because our dollars are the dollars that keep the world running. We are spenders. Now, that's a whole nother story for us to have. But just clearly, this is documented. The Black people, we spend our money. But there's a whole nother psychological thing that goes into that too. So I ain't
we spend it more recklessly. We spend it more recklessly.
We do, but you know what though? Listen, I'm gonna be honest with you, Sebastian, and I'm one of them, but whatever. You know what I'm trying to say? But there's a whole nother psychological thing behind that. And we'll be on here till tomorrow, and I can't do that. But all I'm saying is the fact that we are spenders. The minute we decide to start spending our money, we will shut this whole economic system down.
That part.
Correct, but that
we have
white lady lost her job. Hold on, that white lady lost her job trying to put the truth out for that Black family. So all Black people need to stand up for that white lady who lost her job. She did that for us. She didn't have to do
Exactly.
She did. You better talk
I wonder
about
if
it.
she has a GoFundMe.
Yeah. Does she?
I don't know.
But she did. Y'all better talk about it. She did. And you know what? There are many out there like her that do stand by us and help us out. There's many. And that's why I'm saying God bless her. And you know what? Y'all helped me because I wasn't even thinking about it. I don't even go to Applebee's like that. But guess what? You ain't gonna find me at no Applebee's.
Me either.
You ain't gonna find me at no Applebee's.
I don't either.
But I'm gonna tell you, keep your dollar in your pocket, and we will shut that Applebee's down. And they will not. I bet you they will figure out something different there. Because see, they 10 toes down right now. They don't even want to answer the people because they said they asked them to reinstate to give that girl her job back, and they don't want to.
And Diva, she has worked there for 12 years.
12 years.
12 years.
12 years, y'all.
Service. A loyal employee.
And she's never been late and never had a write-up.
That part. So you mean for one
Wow.
incident, it was a zero tolerance? For one incident, y'all don't even give her a warning, a written warning, a barren warning. She got to go?
Messed up.
No, because y'all know who you're siding with. You're siding with law enforcement, and you like, you went against us. They trying to make a pay. No Applebee's. Hashtag no Applebee's, everybody.
Boycott Applebee.
No Applebee's. Okay? Listen, guys, I love y'all for being here.
We love you
for
too.
the passionate conversations. I never catch feelings. I love all of y'all, but y'all know once I start to run in my mouth, y'all do it to me. Y'all say something that trigger me, and I get to run in my mouth. But anyway, guys, I love y'all. See you next time. Happy Friday. Have an amazing weekend. Good night, everybody. Y'all got
Love you, Diva. Love y'all. Y'all have a blessed weekend.
All right.
Yes.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.